Well, it is the blockbuster tie of match week 6. It is Real Madrid hosting Manchester City at the Santiago Bernabeu. What a clash this promises to be here. Two big teams coming up here as we're all set for the start of kickoff here at the Bernabeu. Well, there's a lot of talk that if Real Madrid lose today, it could be the final game of Xabi Alonso's 4-month stint at the club. Well, they haven't been too bad, but there's been so many underlying issues that it just feels that something's got to give for Real Madrid. They're second in La Liga and they're taking on the team second in the Premier League. Here's Doku, who has been one of Manchester City's fire players this season. Him and Haaland have really struck that connection this season and now looking to add further pain onto Xabi Alonso. Well, second in La Liga and sixth in the Champions League group stage position. Again, not too bad. 5 wins and just the 1 defeat for Xabi Alonso's men, and that was to Liverpool in a 1-0 loss to Arne Slot's men, who won the game against Inter Milan courtesy of that late Dominic Szoboszlai penalty, as Pep Guardiola looks to put one over his former rival in Real Madrid. Foden finds Nico O'Reilly. O'Reilly, what an ascension it has been for him here, but it's Real Madrid now who have a chance here through Vinicius Jr. on the right hand side. Looks for the through pass, well defended there by Ruben Diaz. Josko Guardiola also making his presence known, but Real Madrid pinched the ball again. Oh, that might be an early penalty there. It is! Vinicius Jr. under 2 minutes has won a pen for his team. City all over the shop defensively, and they have the perfect start here, Real Madrid. Can you believe it? They've given the ball away. Bernardo Silva is absolutely criminal. You cannot lose the ball there. Vinicius chops, and then he's been brought down by Mateus Nunes by the looks of it. It's a clear swipe, but I think it's just outside the box. Ooh, that is very close there. Such a chance taken then. Yep, VAR will save Manchester City from the pen there. It was just outside the box. Well, the masters of their own downfall there nearly. But Vinicius Jr. now without Kylian Mbappe in the team will be the star attacker. But Real Madrid still have a free kick right at the edge of the box here. They've got a few options. Rodrigo, Vinicius and Fede Valverde all interested here, with Gigi Donnarumma in goal trying to organize his wall to make sure that nothing really sneaks through here. Well, Vinicius has got away from it, so it's the captain Fede Valverde and Rodrigo who really has struggled for goals this season. This is his longest streak without a goal for the club. There was a lot of talk in the summer that he might be the one to make way, but Real Madrid kept him, but that faith has not paid off for Rodrigo. Is this the game where it just sparks back to life for him here? Madrid almost getting the perfect start here, right at the edge of the box. Laid off, Valverde, deflection is just wide. That is very close. Well, Fede Valverde was just looking to put his foot through this one. Takes a hefty deflection, completely wrong foot. Donnarumma and just goes wide. Very good start here for Real Madrid at home. Dani Ceballos, who's been drafted into the team because Eduardo Camavinga has picked up a knock, and he'll be playing in that midfield three alongside Tchouaméni and Jude Bellingham as Ceballos delivers. Good shape on it. Rudiger is looking to attack. There's Valverde who loses his footing, and it's a shot from distance, easily cleared. And now City on the break here. Doku finds Ryan Cherki. He doesn't have the pace, and that's why he checks back. Ryan Cherki has been in top form. That Rabona assist against Fulham really was special, wasn't it? It was Sunderland, not Fulham, in that 3-0 victory at the weekend. Just shows you that now Ryan Cherki is starting to be central to Pep Guardiola's plans here. Shirky and Phil Foden as the two number 10s, with Nico Gonzalez playing in the base of the midfield. Doku and Bernardo Silva providing the width, with Erling Haaland up front. Here's Doku. Finds Gonzalez. Really has stepped in nicely in the absence of Rodri. Still struggling after that ACL injury and all the repercussions from it. Good play here from Manchester City. Trying to keep the ball in tight areas. Bellingham wins the ball back. And Carreras should be able to clear here. Good composure shown as Bellingham switches the play. It's a very risky pass, but it finds Valverde perfectly there. Fede Valverde has been moved out of midfield, now into right back without Trent Alexander-Arnold in the team. Raul Asensio and Antonio Rudiger as the two centre-half pairings for Xabi Alonso. No Dean Huijsen, of course, nor Eder Militao. Real Madrid having quite a few injuries to contend with here. Main talking point was no Kylian Mbappe in the starting 11. He is fit enough to be on the bench though. No Arda Güler as well, so Xabi Alonso, not with his two favourite attackers, as Doku finds O'Reilly. Cutback is decent. Very good defending there by Carreras. Steps away and makes the interception, and this game is really end-to-end in the early stages. And now Rodrigo on the right-hand side, he's got the pace, flashes across the face of goal. Vinicius Junior is just wide. He just looks to lift that over Donnarumma. Again, Real Madrid on the counter-attack, lethal, and nearly getting the rewards. Rodrigo and Vinicius Junior nearly, very nearly fashioning that chance. This is a good play there by Gonzalo Garcia, who just feeds the ball to Rodrigo. That is a brilliant ball across the face of goal. And Vinicius, having got there, should have done better. It's been just about the perfect start here for Real Madrid. Just the goal missing. Doku's very strong there. That is not a foul. That is not a foul. Ceballos has clearly played to the referee there. Doku was stronger on that occasion. Yep. That is definitely not a foul. Just a stiff arm there from Jeremy Doku. But Real Madrid getting the decision. Here's Asensio. Again, the pace that Real Madrid have means that Manchester City cannot be gung-ho in their approach, especially out there in the wings, where see the likes of Vinicius Junior and Rodrigo will be causing all sorts of problems. Nico O'Reilly and Mateus Nunes, the fullbacks for Manchester City, will have to have a near perfect game, and Nunes will be breathing a huge sigh of relief after his foul on Vinicius Junior was adjudged as a penalty, but after the VAR check, rightfully so, was just a free kick just outside the box. Here's O'Reilly. Can Real Madrid pinch the ball? Garcia finds Vinicius Junior away from Ruben Diaz. Vinicius Junior is strong. Has to take the long route away from Ruben Diaz, who's very brilliant defending from the Portuguese. Strong in the challenge there. And now Manchester City work it very well. On the right-hand side is Ryan Cherki. Brilliant nutmeg on Rudiger. But it's Jude Bellingham on the cover. You can see Jude Bellingham is playing a lot more deeper here. Lovely nutmeg there by Ryan Cherki. But Bellingham on the cover with the slight challenge prevents the progress of Manchester City. City are 12th in the Champions League group stages here. A win here will really propel them over the chasing pack. All the teams looking to be in the top 8 to avoid the playoffs. Here's Carreras. Again, there's no time in midfield whatsoever. Real Madrid win the ball back. Here's Josko Guardiola. Finds Nico O'Reilly. O'Reilly has really made his case to start for Thomas Tuchel as left back in the World Cup. Considering how well he has played this season, and the likes of Miles Lewis-Kelly not getting enough game time, means that Nico O'Reilly will have a pretty much fair crack. Brilliant ball there for Doku. Brings it down on his chest here. It's Doku. Takes it away from Haaland. He's been intercepted there. Good defending. Again, it's Jude Bellingham operating in tight spaces. Gets the give and go, and then away from the challenge. Mateus Nunes tracks the run very nicely and gets the foul in his favour. There's Kylian Mbappe. Not fit enough to be starting here, but he is on the bench. Definitely I was going to say useful option. That is an elite option to come off the bench for Xabi Alonso if need be. The game was built up as Erling Haaland versus Kylian Mbappe as the two elite strikers in world football. They're playing each other in the World Cup, aren't they? France and Norway. So we will see Erling Haaland and Mbappe up against each other. Here's O'Reilly. Finds Josko Guardiola. 10 minutes on the clock. Foden losing out, and here's Rodrigo. Might be a foul on him, and it might be the game's first yellow card, and it is to Phil Foden. Phil Foden pleads his case that was his first foul, but it was a cynical one from the England international. Losing the ball high up the pitch and then chasing back, knowing that Rodrigo does have the pace. Yep, cynical challenge there. Just clips the knees. Shake of the head there from Pep Guardiola. He knows that his team have not started well in the early stages here. The pressure playing at Santiago Bernabeu, not easy. Well, Celta Vigo had no issues at the weekend, winning 2-0 away from home. That was a damaging defeat, really, for Xabi Alonso's men. Here's Thibaut Courtois. Good header there by Fede Valverde. Again, Gonzalo Garcia is putting himself about here. Haaland might be offside. Play continues here, but the flag is subsequently raised. Well, Gonzalo Garcia, a completely different profile of striker to Kylian Mbappe. Does have the presence. Someone like Trent Alexander-Arnold in their team would really help Gonzalo Garcia's case with the crosses that Trent could provide. No Trent though. His life at Real Madrid hasn't gotten off to the start that he was hoping for. Injuries, being dropped, not having the game, but he has the quality, make no mistake about it. And down the right hand side, Manchester City looking to just control the game here. It's been a hectic start for Pep Guardiola's men. They've been counter-attacked on numerous occasions already. Here's Ruben Diaz. Scoop pass forward. Nico O'Reilly is playing inverted here in that left-hand side half space. He's got the license to really bomb on forward. Here's Josko Guardiola. Immediately feeds Jeremy Doku on the left-hand side. Doku with a bit of trickery to get away from Rodrigo. Does brilliantly there, Doku. And then just looks to slip that ball to Phil Foden. Well defended, cleared away by Courtois. Doku's touch nearly finds Phil Foden. Asensio finds his captain, Fede Valverde. Back to Asensio. Erling Haaland yet to get involved in the proceedings so far. 13 minutes on the clock. Again, Garcia does well to get there, but good defending once again by Josko Guardiola. Manchester City have been conceding goals for fun in the league. And the Champions League, they're recovering from that 2-0 defeat at home to Bayer Leverkusen. A real shock defeat there for Pep Guardiola. As for Real Madrid, their only loss in the Champions League coming against Liverpool at Anfield. That 1-0 defeat, but it could have been so much more if not for Thibaut Courtois. Brilliant from Doku again. Shakes away and looks to shape that towards the far corner. Well defended there by Tchouameni. Ooh, that could be a foul. Don't know if the foul is given again. Rodrigo looks very hungry here. Every time he gets the ball, he's trying to be as direct as possible. That is an excellent challenge, really, by Josko Guardiola. Here's Rudiger. Finds Thibaut Courtois. Tchouameni to Asensio. Again with Arda Güler and Kylian Mbappe. Ooh, that's a foul, and it's a heavy foul there by Nico O'Reilly on the captain Fede Valverde, but they've taken it quickly here. On the left-hand side is Alvaro Carreras. He's got the overlap here. Finds Vinicius Jr. Cuts inside. Trying to do too much there, the Brazilian, and Donnarumma sweeps up. Vinicius Jr. will have to shoulder the attacking load here as the star attacker. Need to see a bit more of Jude Bellingham in the forward areas. He is playing awfully deep in the early stages. Might be a precautionary thing really because of the impact and potential influence of this result, because if Manchester City really do put one over Real Madrid, Xabi Alonso's job could be at risk. Not the happy homecoming for the former Real Madrid player who's won the Champions League for the club. Brought in to replace the iconic Don Carlo Ancelotti. Again, good win there by Rodrigo. Looks extremely hungry, doesn't he? I mean, he's been all over the pitch, buzzing around. Clever pass to Jude Bellingham. Flick on is good here for Rodrigo. Here's Vinicius Jr. He's got the overlap. Decides to maybe go by himself. It's Vinicius. Oh, it's a good bit of defending there. They're asking for a handball. It's a light-hearted appeal. And it's just fantastic work here by Rodrigo and Vinicius. They do have that connection of playing with each other for all these years. The two Brazilians. Corner for Real Madrid. The captain will be going across to take this one, Fede Valverde. Well, Ceballos rather, who will be taking this corner. He's been on corner duties in the match so far. Ceballos delivers. Decent whip on the ball. Headed away by Josko Gvardiol. Brilliant defending by the Croatian. Real Madrid do have Manchester City pinned here though. Here's Carreras. Jude Bellingham. Rudiger takes the safe option here, but they keep the possession nicely here, Real Madrid. Again, they've got runners. There's Ceballos. Heavy touch there by Rodrigo, but he gets the break. Oh, might be a foul. He goes lunging in. I think that is Nico Gonzalez. And he's very fortunate considering the referee has already pulled out a yellow card in this match already for Phil Foden. Nico Gonzalez goes flying into the challenge, completely misses the ball. And he's very, very lucky that the referee does not pull out the yellow card for the challenge. It's a free kick. Again, dangerous territory here for Real Madrid. Did strike the arm of Mateus Nunes previously there by Vinicius Jr., but his arm was tucked close to his body. Again, free kick here. Good area here for Rodrigo to just float this into a dangerous area. Rodrigo delivers. Decent header by Tchouaméni. And it's just wide. It was Antonio Rudiger rather who got the final touch. Very good ball into the box there by Rodrigo. Rudiger knows that the pace is on the ball. All he needs to do is get a good connection on it. Was Tchouaméni's header rather. And it's Real Madrid who have been racking up the efforts on goal. Donnarumma hasn't had to make a save yet. And Newcastle are down 1-0 to Bayer Leverkusen, who have suddenly found a bit of resurgence after that nightmare campaign which started with Erik ten Hag at the helm. Got sacked, 2 or 3 games into the Bundesliga season? We seldom see that, but that is when a club has realized that something has really gone wrong. Here's Courtois. Has had a comfortable evening between the sticks so far. Valverde. Raul Asensio goes for the big switch out here. Beautiful control there from Carreras. And now Vinicius Jr. on the left-hand side here. He's got that run from Carreras. Decides to ignore him. Plays it to Jude Bellingham. Bellingham switches it out. Lovely football this from Real Madrid. Accurate stuff as he finds Rodrigo. Here's Ceballos. Cross comes into the box. Cleared away by Josko Gvardiol, but falls to Vinicius Jr. on the left-hand side. Vinicius Jr. Not sure what he was trying to do there. Erling Haaland with his first touch in the game, but he's been tackled by Antonio Rudiger. Taken it quickly here, though, on the right-hand side. A couple of bodies hitting the deck here as Ryan Cherki finds Bernardo Silva. Well, Ryan Cherki is playing on the right-hand side with Bernardo Silva in the pockets between the lines. Pretty sure that might change at some point with Ryan Cherki a lot more influential, as the number 10 rather than out on the wings because he does not have the pace or the athleticism. Here's Bernardo Silva. Finds Mateus Nunes. And now to Ruben Diaz. Manchester City just 2 points behind league leaders Arsenal in the league. It was 7 points a week ago, but Arsenal having a real dip in form. Lost points to Sunderland just before the international break. Draw to Chelsea. That last minute loss to Aston Villa. Lovely carry there by Nico Gonzalez. Immediately picks his head up. Decent pass, asking a lot out of Bernardo Silva. Does very well, the captain. Here's Mateus Nunes. He's got a bit of space here to cross. Instead, he keeps it short to Foden. Now Gonzalez. Gonzalez, the metronomic figure for Manchester City. Erling Haaland and Raul Asensio having a battle off the ball. Asensio's hit the deck. I think Erling Haaland might have just given a bit of a shoulder bump there. You can see Asensio. Well, it wasn't a shoulder bump really. It was just a hand across. Referee has a quick word with the centre-back and the centre-forward to resolve the issue swiftly here. Nearly halfway through the first half, Real Madrid have had the better of the exchanges. Unfortunately for them, it's still 0-0 here at the Santiago Bernabeu. Pep Guardiola has come here with his previous sides. With Bayern Munich, not much success, but with Barcelona, he's had some very big results, hasn't he? Here's Asensio. Ceballos. You see Fede Valverde is not getting involved in the build-up yet, but he switches it out brilliantly. It's full-back to full-back here as Carreras has the ball. He's got runners. Very good defending. Yep, Mateus Nunes just hands it off to Ruben Diaz. Anywhere will do for the Portuguese. Let's come back with interest. Jude Bellingham does something with it and nearly finds Gonzalo Garcia with an excellent pass. Jude Bellingham has been absolutely up for this one. Bernardo Silva helps out defensively. Does very well, the skipper, and finds Nico O'Reilly. And this isn't the Pep Guardiola and Manchester City of old here, where they don't dominate possession as much, but they are ruthlessly efficient when they do have chances. Scored 5 away at Fulham, 3 at Sunderland. They've suddenly now clicked into gear, and Arsenal fans will now be feeling that old PTSD feeling, isn't it, of City breathing down their necks. Here's Jeremy Doku. Finds Gonzalez between the lines to Shirky. Again, the central area is so crowded here. No width on the right-hand side for Manchester City yet. Here's Mateus Nunes. Does very well, the Portuguese right back. Brilliant driving run here from Nunes, but very good defending there by Carreras. He started off very well. Oh, that's a risky touch there by Ceballos. Rudiger can clear. 23 minutes on the clock. 0-0 at the Bernabeu. Gonzalo Garcia does very well. Finds Vinicius Jr. That's a poor pass there by Vinicius, but Real Madrid recover possession. Here's Valverde to Rodrigo on the right-hand side now. Ceballos finds Asensio. All the Real Madrid players, barring the goalkeeper, in the Manchester City half in this attack here. Here's Carreras. Good shape here from Manchester City off the ball. Very compact in their mid-block. Asensio. Here's Rodrigo looking to play the 1-2, and he gets it back away from Nico O'Reilly. First time ball into the box. Again, where is Gonzalo Garcia? You want him to be there attacking those balls. Good recovery though. Here's Carreras. Tchouaméni. Ceballos. Rudiger. Very good pass there by the German. Carreras. Tchouaméni again. Clip ball into the box. Headed away. Manchester City should be able to deal with this one. Phil Foden dropping deep to help out defensively. And Guardiola takes a bit of a chance. And it's Donnarumma who clears. And Manchester City really struggling for possession here. Full marks to Real Madrid in terms of suffocating Manchester City. The longer this stays at 0-0, more incentive and hope it gives to Manchester City. Just get that opening goal here. They haven't had an attempt on goal so far. Got 25 minutes on the clock. It's been all Real Madrid in that department. 4 attempts for them, but none on target. Guardiola finds Nico O'Reilly. Gets away brilliantly there from the skipper. O'Reilly does very well with the carry. And now to Jeremy Doku. This is when things get electric for Manchester City. Doku looking to drop the shoulder and shimmy away. Finds O'Reilly. Haaland is in the box, but well marshalled. Doku again. It's a poor attempt there from the Belgian. Guardiola's cushion header finds Gonzalez. Shirky. And now Mateus Nunes. Starting to get a lot more even now after Manchester City found themselves on the receiving end of a fast start from the home side. Patient this from Manchester City. This is not a bad tactics really, because if they go head to head here, it could be very hectic for them. Good bit of play. Ooh, that might be a foul. And it is. Gonzalo Garcia trying to put himself about here. Pep Guardiola knows that his team have gotten away with that one. It's a risky attempt there. It's Phil Foden, who's on a yellow card. Takes a touch again. There's nothing much wrong with that challenge from Garcia on that occasion. Here's Mateus Nunes. Finds Josko Guardiola now. Madueke has scored for Arsenal against Club Brugge. His second Champions League goal. One that he got against Bayern Munich. Lovely play by Doku. It's cleared away. Carreras is very strong and he drops the Manchester City skipper on the deck here. Now Real Madrid have so much space in midfield, and as Jude Bellingham, who's got options left and right, decides to go to Rodrigo on the right hand side, flashes it for 1-0! It is Rodrigo who breaks his goal drought in a massive fixture, and Real Madrid are 1-0 up, and they thoroughly deserve it. It all comes from Alvaro Carreras, who was so proactive in his work there to win the ball back. And in the midfield area, Manchester City with a gaping hole. Bellingham found Rodrigo on the right-hand side, and he beats Gianluigi Donnarumma from a tight angle to give Real Madrid the lead. But that all came from Alvaro Carreras, far too strong on Bernardo Silva, and from here, Real Madrid in business. Look at this pass here, and now it is so open in midfield. Look at that. Nobody's there. He could have gone across the face of goal, but he decides to find the bottom corner expertly as Real Madrid have the lead. But you can't say it hasn't been coming here. What a game for Rodrigo to finally break his goal drought. He has haunted Manchester City in the past. In 2022, those 2 goals in extra time, in stoppage time, will never be forgotten by the Manchester City fans. Courtois plays sweeper keeper. And Manchester City haven't been at the races, have they? Really have struggled to have any sort of control. The Real Madrid players are totally up for this one. They've been all over Manchester City. You can see the aggression now just starting to build up here. Rudiger getting involved. The way that they've marshaled Erling Haaland in the early stages has been excellent. Haaland has had a couple of touches in the match so far. Jeremy Doku had a little kick out at Raul Asensio. And Fede Valverde playing peacemaker there. Well, it's up to Manchester City now to respond. They haven't been at the races so far, but still a long way to go in this match. 30 minutes on the clock as Rodrigo might have a thigh issue here. Whether or not that is a contact injury or a muscle injury that he might have pulled here. Does look in discomfort. Ooh, it's a unfortunate slip there. Again, no one in his vicinity, just loses his footing and probably just hyperextends the side of his thigh muscle here. This could be really unfortunate for Rodrigo. Finally breaking his goal drought. Might be okay to continue. Yep, doesn't look in any discomfort. Fortunately for Rodrigo, Real Madrid and Xabi Alonso, he will be okay to continue. Expect more from Manchester City in the attacking phases here. Been pretty limp so far. Need to get the service into Erling Haaland as quickly as possible here. And City in these areas defensively are done well, but in that midfield area, that cannot happen. What happened in the goal, there's so much space. The midfield completely AWOL. There's Ryan Cherki. And Cherki on the right hand side is not a decision that I would have gone for. You want him in those central areas trying to feed Erling Haaland with those through passes or those dinked passes over the top. And Erling Haaland tries to drop deep, but Rudiger sweeps up. Courtois clears. Here's Jeremy Doku. Finds Nico O'Reilly. Gonzalez, O'Reilly. Decent ball in. Fede Valverde, very composed. He gets a bit of help there from Rodrigo. Onto the left-hand side is Carreras. Loses his footing again. Does find a deep ball there. Gonzalo Garcia does brilliantly here for Vinicius Jr. Feeds it onto the left-hand side. Cutback opportunity was there. Very good defending by Ruben Diaz on the slide. Jude Bellingham finally getting forward in the box. Here's Phil Foden. Bernardo Silva to Ryan Cherki. Cherki gets away from Carreras. Who might be a foul there by the Uruguayan. It's a free kick for Manchester City. But it's the first time that we've seen Ryan Cherki be a bit more positive here. As we have a look at that goal once again. Again, do you want your keeper to be doing slightly better from that angle? Maybe. Am I being a bit too harsh on Donnarumma? Possibly. He is a top shot stopper, so might have expected better, but it was a fizzing low drive by Rodrigo. Free kick for Manchester City. Erling Haaland has been a passenger in this game so far. Cherki getting ready to deliver here. Just a one-man wall in Rodrigo. Clip ball into the box. Headed away by Tchouaméni. Guardiola picks the ball back up. Here's Nunez. Finds Bernardo Silva. Back to Mateus Nunez. Now Josko Guardiola to Nico O'Reilly. Again, he's looking for runners. Nobody's there. Everybody's asking for the ball to feet here. Jeremy Doku. Been shown the line by Fede Valverde, and he does take the line. Flashes the ball across. Good defending. It's a corner for Manchester City. Raul Asensio makes sure that his positioning was absolutely spot on. That's the danger of giving Jeremy Doku the line there, because he will take it, and he's got that burst of acceleration where once he beats you, there's no chance that you're going to catch up with him. Asensio on the cover. Make sure that he just concedes the corner and nothing more. Ryan Cherki getting ready to deliver this ball in. I think this is Manchester City's first corner. Right-footed ball in by Shirky. Decent header, but it's straight and it's 1-1. Manchester City with their very first attack, courtesy of Nico O'Reilly. It is an unlikely goal scorer, but Real Madrid don't defend the corner well. Thibaut Courtois might have done better with the save, but he parries it straight to the left back, who has his first Champions League goal. Good header there by Josko Guardiola. That is not good enough by Thibaut Courtois. Has to be doing better. He parries it straight into the path of Nico O'Reilly, and now it is game on. Well, unmissable territory on his weaker right foot, but all he had to do is just guide that away from Courtois, which he does with some aplomb. And Nico O'Reilly scores at the Santiago Bernabeu, his biggest goal for Manchester City so far. Well, Kylian Mbappe is part of the protesting community here for Real Madrid. Xabi Alonso will not believe what a soft goal to concede, having worked so hard to get their noses in front. It is a very soft goal to concede. Again, considering all the goal scorers on show, you probably have Nico O'Reilly bottom on the list to getting a goal in this tie here, but here he is in the big stage, scoring a crucial goal. Again, Bernardo Silva will be fortunate if he avoids a booking. We've seen two firsts here. Rodrigo scoring his first goal of the campaign in the Champions League, and Nico O'Reilly doing the same a few minutes later. Manchester City with their first attempt, scoring past Courtois. Will feel culpable because that Josko Guardiola header wasn't really powerful or made Courtois stretch. It was a weak parry right into the danger area. Once you do that, you're in real trouble. There you have it. City with two attempts got their goal here, but Real Madrid work it very nicely here on the left-hand side. Here's Jude Bellingham. He's got Carreras with the option. Oh, that's too much there by Jude Bellingham, really. Trying to just thread that through the eye of the needle for that on-rushing Vinicius Jr. Well, two goals of contrasting quality. Fizzing low drive by Rodrigo, and then Nico O'Reilly tapping in from close range. Well, 7 minutes plus added on time remaining in this first half. 1-1 the scoreline at the Bernabeu. And the dangerous part for Real Madrid is they do have a soft underbelly. Their league form has been pretty wretched in the last 5 games. A lot of draws that are really halting their progress to try and put the pressure on Barcelona. Barcelona 4 points ahead of their fierce rivals. Here's Tchouaméni. Rudiger. And playing with a back three here with Carreras and Valverde pushing up, with Tchouaméni dropping between the two centre halves. Asensio finds Valverde. Back to Asensio. Into the 40th minute. From Manchester City's point of view, if they can get into half-time level at 1-1, really would be a bonus result for them, considering how poor they've been in this first half. Still, keeping Real Madrid at arm's length here. Here's Gonzalez. Does well to spin away from trouble. The two number 14s going shoulder to shoulder there, with Tchouaméni was Gonzalez. Here's Ryan Cherki, finds Gonzalez again. Space here for Josko Guardiola. And now Jeremy Doku on the left-hand side. Nico O'Reilly clips the ball into the box. Ooh, that is a risky approach to deal with Erling Haaland. Hold in the box. Could be very, very risky. You know they have to be touch tied. That would have been a little too much there. You can see Raul Asensio and Erling Haaland having a personal beef there. Doku on the left-hand side finds Josko Guardiol. Guardiol again. Jeremy Doku again leaves Vinicius. Look at that acceleration from Jeremy Doku. The way that he just creates separation. Absolutely brilliant. Rudiger, that could have very easily been a pen, you know. I mean, the ball's played into the box. Haaland isn't off the ground. Pep Guardiola was convinced. Erling Haaland has been involved in a wrestling match more than anything else. We're going to have a look at the VAR check here. It is a risky tactic by Rudiger. If he has his arms around Erling Haaland, it could very easily be construed as a pen, you know. And if that's the case, Real Madrid just before halftime will see their lead not just wiped away, but now chasing the game. Let's have a look here. Rudiger. That's a pen, you know. That really is a pen. I would be very surprised if it isn't given, because Rudiger is not looking to engage whatsoever. He's got his arms around Erling Haaland, and once you do that, you're in so much trouble, and the referee is being sent to the monitor, and that can only mean one thing. That is so bad there from Rudiger. It's lazy defending by Antonio Rudiger, and the penalty has been given. Xabi Alonso just walks away in disgust. He cannot believe how this first half has panned out after that brilliant start that they had, getting the opening goal courtesy of Rodrigo. And in the span of about 5 or 10 minutes, they're going to see the lead not just wiped away, but they now will have to chase if Erling Haaland does slot in from 12 yards. Rudiger can have no complaints. What are you doing there, Tony? Both arms around Erling Haaland, and Haaland, who has not had a sniff in this match, has an opportunity before half-time to give Manchester City a surprise lead, considering how the first half has panned out here. Big moment coming up here. Two giants going eyeball to eyeball here. It is Erling Haaland versus Thibaut Courtois. How have Real Madrid found themselves in this situation? Cannot believe it. Two very sloppy moments here as it's Haaland, and he buries it, sending Courtois the wrong way, slots it into the bottom corner as Real Madrid have capitulated here. You cannot believe it as Haaland scores his 5th goal in the Champions League. It's the coolest of penalties you'll ever see as Xabi Alonso just shakes his head. He will not understand how this game has gone away from his side here. Well, Courtois with the mistake for the first goal. Rudiger for the second. A needless penalty conceded, which Erling Haaland duly spots it away. Well, this is what happens when you're in crisis, when your head's on the chopping block. You see yourself almost shaking your head, wondering how is your team making schoolboy errors and decision making here. Rudiger still with a smile on his face. He should not be smiling. Might be a coping mechanism, but my word, you cannot be doing that. Haaland having the easiest task of sending Courtois the wrong way. And just before half-time as well, it is a clubbing blow to Xabi Alonso. Well, now it's up to Real Madrid to try and overturn this deficit here. It's a foul and a free kick. Can they get a goal before half-time here and level things up? Hasn't been a 2-1 game, if you know what I mean. Manchester City have been rarely threatening, but they have 2 goals at the Bernabeu. Sometimes football is clear, and yes, the manager will take a lot of flack and heat, but this is individual errors. Rodrigo delivers. It's an easy gather. Asensio wants a similar decision, but he's not dragged out of position. And now it's Jeremy Doku. Clever pass here for Nico O'Reilly on his left-hand side. It's Erling Haaland. What a save! And Shirky on the follow-up. It's saved again. Manchester City could have gone 2 goals up just before half-time. What a counter-attack this was. That was not a foul in the box. It was a quick handoff there. Real Madrid in all sorts of trouble, and Erling Haaland, you would have bet your house on it for him to score. Courtois with a magnificent double save. Keeps his team alive, and how have Real Madrid found themselves in this position? It is a real head scratcher here. Into stoppage time here in the first half, and that could have been game over in the 45 minutes. And now we will see whether or not Real Madrid have the mental fortitude to try and respond here in the second half. What a pass that was from Jeremy Doku. Inch perfect. Finds Nico O'Reilly. Cutback was just brilliant. And Haaland. You expected the net to bulge. Shirky's ball in. Should be easily gathered by Courtois, and it is. If you are to believe the noises coming out of Spain with Xabi Alonso's job at stake here. Could just be newspaper fluff, but every loss that Real Madrid do suffer could be a real hammer blow. We might just see Kylian Mbappe in the second half. Don't imagine Xabi Alonso protecting him, especially considering how damaging a defeat would be. Losing to Celta Vigo. 2 back-to-back defeats at home. 1 in the Champions League and 1 in the league. Again, could be a recipe for disaster. And for many clubs it wouldn't be, but a club with the reputation and the ruthlessness of Real Madrid, can't imagine them. If that is nowhere near a foul there. Josko Guardiola was on the deck. Haaland didn't find the corner, because if he did, Courtois would have been powerless, and Shirky on the follow-up kept Thibaut Courtois honest. Now Real Madrid find themselves in a very tricky position, because they'll be coming out to try and score the equalizer. And Manchester City, we have seen them on the counter-attack already. They can be so ruthless. Here's Courtois. Might just hear a chorus of boos at half-time. You're just going to have to wait and find out. Ball's been cleared away. Anyway, we'll do kind of approach here. And it's Shirky who's picked up the ball. Couple of step-overs. Good defending there by Carreras. Had to get that spot on. And the referee does blow the whistle for the end of the first half. And you can hear the boos at the Santiago Bernabeu. They are not happy with their team's performance here. They started the first half brilliantly. I mean, they completely deserved the goal. They were all over Manchester City, who could barely string the forward passes together. But moments of capitulation right before halftime. First from Thibaut Courtois with the weak parry of the Josko Guardiola header straight into the path of Nico O'Reilly, who equalized after Rodrigo got the opening goal. And then the second goal, absolutely unacceptable, as Antonio Rudiger needlessly bringing Erling Haaland down in the box. And Haaland scoring his 5th goal in the Champions League, sending Courtois the wrong way. Half-time here at the Bernabeu. It's Real Madrid 1, Manchester City 2. Xabi Alonso will be absolutely fuming. I mean, he must be scratching his head, wondering how has this game gotten away from them, considering how well they started that first half. Well, as it stands, and down in the box. Arsenal are top of the Champions League. They have had a flawless record, just conceding the one goal in the CL. That was to Leonard Carl in the previous match week, but other than that, spotless defensively once again. They have Christian Norgard playing as centre-back. This is a game as safe as they could have imagined Norgard to filling in for them. PSG are drawing. They're third as it stands, with Real Madrid now dropping down further down, and it is Manchester City who are in fourth. So it is Arsenal, Bayern Munich, PSG and Manchester City as the top four teams. And Real Madrid will, we know the obvious substitution, which will be Kylian Mbappe for Gonzalo Garcia. I expect Arda Güler to come on as well, because we have seen nothing really of Dani Ceballos. Jude Bellingham started the game very deep, but then started to make his forward runs a lot more. And that midfield has been better, but they need a bit more dynamism. Someone like Arda Güler who can just pick the lock, has that number 10 position, might do them a world of good. But Xabi Alonso's halftime team talk will be intense. They know that they cannot afford to lose here. Well, Paris Saint-Germain are 0-0 away at Bilbao, which means that they're in third position. Good recovery by Luis Enrique's men, but how do Xabi Alonso and Real Madrid respond here? He's on thin ice. Gonna wait and see how long before he decides to bring on Kylian Mbappe. I think the Mbappe and Arda Güler double substitution is inevitable, really. At some point, both of them will have to come on, because while we've seen Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo combining very well, Gonzalo Garcia has been pretty much on the peripheries. But just look at the 2 goals that you concede, man. I mean, Xabi Alonso must be wondering, what can I do here? he's coached a perfect game plan, mind you, because for the first 20 minutes, Manchester City were totally outplayed. There was no way they were getting anything away. Erling Haaland was looking like a total passenger in the match. They were doing very well, creating problems. Vinicius and Rodrigo were combining relentlessly. But those two goals are a real backbreaker. And what is Antonio Rudiger thinking there? You have to wonder. Because first look, I thought it was a pen. Because when the ball is nowhere near and someone as big as Erling Haaland goes down, you wonder that yes, there's got to be a lot of contact. The pen from Erling Haaland was cool as ice, sending Courtois the wrong way, slotting into the bottom corner. 5 goals in 6 Champions League appearances this season for Erling Haaland. Doesn't matter if it's the league or the Champions League, Erling Haaland does what Erling Haaland does best, score goals. This could have been the killer blow, man. Doku's pass to O'Reilly was excellent. And then Erling Haaland on his left foot too. You expected him to beat Courtois from there, and Ryan Cherki was denied by a sharp save there by Courtois, who did very well to get up quickly, adjust his feet and punch that away. That would have been the nail in the coffin. 3-1 defeat at home or anything in that ilk could be far too much for Xabi Alonso's men. Well, with Real Madrid having to do the attacking in the second half, it pretty much plays in the hands of Manchester City. If they can have one more counter-attacking threat, because I haven't seen too much of Phil Foden or Ryan Cherki in those forward areas. Bernardo Silva has been buzzing around, playing in all different positions. If they can get some pace down that right-hand side, they can really have a triple threat in terms of a counter-attacking game plan to add that third goal. Someone like Omar Marmoush or Savinho maybe. Yes, Savinho hasn't been the best option, but he's got the pace and directness. Something that Ryan Cherki nor Bernardo Silva have. They are technically outstanding players. But pace is a different ball game, isn't it? All waiting to find out how long does Xabi Alonso wait before Kylian Mbappe comes on. The plan would have been maybe 60-65 minutes. Anything more, but seems that Mbappe might have to bail out his manager. Well, we are back on the way for the start of the second half. Real Madrid have a massive 45 minutes coming up here. There's a lot of talk that this could be Xabi Alonso's last game if he loses here. And if Pep Guardiola and Manchester City want to really rub salt into the wounds, they'll be looking for their third goal. Could have had it very easily just before the half-time whistle. Kylian Mbappe isn't stripped and ready to come on here, but can't imagine Xabi Alonso leaving him on the bench for too long. Been very interested to see how the tactical changes do materialize on the pitch here, because there's a big 45 minutes coming up. Well, Gonzalo Garcia still has the backing of the manager to continue as the centre forward. Thought Alvaro Carreras was excellent for Real Madrid. Well, two ex-Chelsea players might be the downfall really of the ex-Liverpool player in Xabi Alonso. The players are out for the start of the second half. Manchester City, we're feeling that they're somehow ahead in this match. Things could change very quickly in this format. We've seen that before. We've seen how it's flipped in the 45 minutes here, because it looked like Manchester City did not have a prayer in the first half, but they're up 2-1. Pep Guardiola looks a bit concerned, not having the right smile on his face, but he'll know his team can play a lot better in the second half, that's for sure. And we're off and running for the start of the second half. It is Real Madrid who have to overturn a deficit in a must-win game here for Xabi Alonso. Rodrigo opened the scoring in the 28th minute, and then two crazy goals conceded by Real Madrid. First one was parried away by Thibaut Courtois from the corner straight into the path of Nico O'Reilly, and then Antonio Rudiger inexplicably bringing down Erling Haaland, who just got up, dusted himself off, and then buried his penalty past Thibaut Courtois. 2-1 to Manchester City, and now a massive 45 minutes coming up here. No changes at the half-time break for either coaches. The big talking point will be Kylian Mbappe. At what point will he be coming onto the pitch here? And Real Madrid pretty much have to go back to what they have done in that opening 30 minutes, where they did not allow Manchester City to play their natural game. They were second best the away side. That goal from Rodrigo might have just been that bit of a rocket fuel to get them into a comfortable position. But after they scored the goal, I thought Real Madrid might have been a bit too passive. Valverde, we've seen these switches out. Well defended this time. It's Cherki for the first time in a central position now. Rudiger finds Carreras. Here's Dani Ceballos. And will Xabi Alonso be a bit more braver at some point in this game? The two substitutes that I expect to come on are Arda Güler and Kylian Mbappe. For Gonzalo Garcia and absolutely Dani Ceballos too. Ooh, Erling Haaland has gone to ground here. It's a clever pass there by Ryan Cherki. Finds Bernardo Silva on the right-hand side. Cherki does the wise thing here without his centre forward. I think that Erling Haaland just got struck in the tenders there. In close distance, the ball just getting struck into the groin region. Very painful And someone has the tank-like presence that is Erling Haaland. Getting one in the nuts. He's got a smile on his face, but he is in pain. You can see his face has become so red. It doesn't matter how big and strong you are. Every man knows how that feels. Here's Josko Guardiola. Only Madueke has scored a brace here. Away in Belgium. His third goal in the Champions League. Club Brugge, no match for Mikel Arteta's men, who will be top as it stands after match week 6 in the UEFA Champions League group stages. What a header that was from Erling Haaland. And it's Doku on the left-hand side to increase the pain for Real Madrid. Goes on the outside, drops on a dime. Doku clips the ball. Good header there by Antonio Rudiger. And Real Madrid managed to clear here. What a touch that is by Rodrigo. On the run, brings that down magnificently well, but can't get the pass manufactured. Here's Nico Gonzalez, finds Ryan Cherki. Nico O'Reilly. Everybody being a lot more central now. It's just Jeremy Doku who's holding the width on the left-hand side. Everybody else very much in a central position. And Cherki going back into right wing. To the 50th minute. Manchester City seeing the second half going exactly according to plan here. I think they have completely nullified the Real Madrid threat. Took some time for Pep Guardiola and his players to figure out the Real Madrid puzzle, but once they have looked comfortable. You want to see Donnarumma be tested a lot more, and that has been absent as Jeremy Doku on the left-hand side. He's got Raul Asensio for company. Doku gets away from the Spaniard, and it's Bernardo Silva who's willing to pull the trigger, but Carreras does so well. What a left back this guy is. Carreras now on the move. Pushes it forward for Vinicius Jr. Decent ball in for Rodrigo. Brings it down. Lovely pass. It's Jude Bellingham. Oh, he went for the dink. And it's well over the crossbar. Missed opportunity for Real Madrid. Excellent counter-attack here. And that again comes from Alvaro Carreras. He was the chief architect of getting that first goal for Real Madrid. He starts the attack here again. Vinicius finds Rodrigo. Brilliant bit of control here. Does the right thing to the on-rushing Jude Bellingham. You expected him to just go low into the bottom corner. Instead, he decides to lift that over Donnarumma. Not the right decision there from Jude Bellingham. Huge chance spurned there from Real Madrid. But again, that will give Xabi Alonso and his men a lot more confidence. And counter-attack seems to be the way to go for both teams. Not able to blow. Doku has been muscled away there. Tchouameni, he's been thrown to the ground as well. And now Ryan Cherki in the number 10 position. This could be danger for Madrid. It's Erling Haaland. Lovely pass. It's Ryan Cherki. Could have taken it first time. Cherki again. And Courtois, happy to see it come comfortably into his hands. That was a very good block. I think that was Raul Asensio. Nope, it was Asensio, you know, and he could have very easily directed it for an own goal. But it's now Real Madrid once again on the attack. Bellingham finds Rodrigo. He's got Bellingham on the outside. It's Rodrigo. It's just over. Fizzing drive on his weaker left foot, trying to hammer that into the top corner. Better second half this from Real Madrid. Pretty much mirroring the first half. They've gotten off to a fast start, but that goal still eluding them. Jude Bellingham still very cross with himself for not burying that chance. You can see the Real Madrid substitutes warming up. Brahim Diaz, Arda Güler, but no signs of Kylian Mbappe. Bernardo Silva plucks that down magnificently well, but Tchouameni is strong. Aurelien Tchouameni The 100 million euro signing from Monaco. What is it, 3 years now at the club? Well, Anthony Gordon has leveled things up at the Bayer Leverkusen Arena. From the spot, it's 1-1 for Eddie Howe's men. Here's Chouameni. Finds Raul Asensio. And back three on the ball. The full-backs now acting as wing-backs in possession. Here's Vinicius Jr. Gets away. Won't get the decision their way. It's a throw in for Manchester City. And they've pretty much rode out the 10 minutes here, because it could have gotten worse if Ryan Cherki's deflected effort went past Courtois. Gonzalo Garcia, with that Jude Bellingham attempt, wanted the ball fizzed across the face of the goal for a tap-in. Ooh, Raul Asensio has to be very careful there, because Jeremy Doku has rolled him beautifully. Fortunate that again he's not picking up a yellow card, and Josko Guardiola is making the point abundantly clear there to the referee. It's a clear foul again. Very fortunate not to pick up a yellow card, because it's cynical. Is this going to be the last game for Xabi Alonso? His dream of managing the club he played for. Oh, what is that challenge? That's terrible, but Jeremy Doku rides it somehow. Doku again. Jeremy Doku could have gone for the pass, but he delays that. That challenge from Raul Asensio was a head scratcher. And I'm surprised Jeremy Doku wasn't on the ground longer. Quickly got back up. Has to find the pass though. He went for the dribble to the inside to try and fashion a shot. Again, from Real Madrid's point of view, they cannot afford their heads to explode here. They need to keep a cool and level-headed collective performance here. Here's Bernardo Silva, this time on the right hand side. Alvaro Carreras having different solutions. I think he's been Real Madrid's best player, to be honest. Clever there by Bernardo Silva, just trying to feed the ball forward. But 10 minutes into the second half, Real Madrid had the big opportunity to be level, but Jude Bellingham going for the ding finish prevented that to happen, as Florentino Perez alongside Khaldun El Mubarak, CEO of the City Group. Again, Antonio Rudiger, every time he's there running past. Ooh, it's such a risky tactic. Just looks a bit reckless when he does go firing in there. Clear foul there on Vinicius Jr. It's a free kick for Manchester City to defend, but it's in their own half. And these are the areas where you can afford to commit those fouls. Chouameni finds Rudiger. Carreras. Lovely turn again. This guy is very good, isn't he? Well, Arsenal are 3-0 up here. Gabriel Martinelli has scored. Excellent second half for Arsenal, who can now take their foot off the pedal and think about their weekend assignment against Wolves. Rodrigo. Jude Bellingham. Ceballos. Bellingham again. Here's Tony Rudiger in Manchester City. Back in their mid-block shape. Rudiger's stayed forward and is making attacking runs here, but will have to hurry back. Here's Bellingham. Bellingham and Haaland, of course, played with each other. for Borussia Dortmund as... Ooh, that's a foul surely there by Raul Asensio. Jeremy Doku has been a nightmare for the defenders. It's not Raul Asensio, rather it is Gonzalo Garcia, who will be coming off. His last involvement in the match was that foul on Jeremy Doku, which means that a recognized centre forward has come off and Arda Güler has taken his place. Still no Kylian Mbappe, which means that Real Madrid have a clear instruction that Mbappe might just get 15 minutes or so in this match. No focal point here for Real Madrid in attack now. Does that mean Jude Bellingham plays as the false 9? I think it does, you know. Oh, Rudiger's strange clearance finds Ryan Cherki. Cherki on his left foot. What a ball that is! And Courtois gets there. Brilliant pass that was from Ryan Cherki, but it's Bernardo Silva on the right hand side now. It's Cherki again. You can't foul him. Brilliant feet. Oh, he collides with Bernardo Silva of all people. Bernardo Silva had to get the hell out of the way there because Ryan Cherki, with his dancing shoes in the box, such a threat. Here's Vinicius Jr. It's opened up for him. It's 2v3. It's Vinicius Jr. Oh, that's a terrible pass. And Nico O'Reilly on the cover easily defends. Vinicius Jr. has to find Rodrigo on it. Pass has to be better. Real Madrid on the counter-attack are looking threatening. There's Bernardo Silva, who did stop that mazy run from Ryan Cherki in the box. Cherki again up against Carreras. Tess Nunez. Manchester City do have options on the bench, both defensively and in attack. Pep Guardiola will be, I wouldn't say pleased with this performance, but very happy with the result. Here's Doku now. All Manchester City need is a chance, and that could be curtains for Xabi Alonso and Real Madrid. Into the 60th minute, Real Madrid still chasing a goal. Here's Cherki. Gonzalez. Again, Phil Foden begging for the ball. He is between the lines. A very passive first half, Phil Foden. City now with the possession. 55% of it. It's nearly 3 a.m. in India. A long half an hour for me. But that's the way it goes. Champions League nights with daylight savings. Nightmare. Nico Gonzalez was appealing for the penalty, but he didn't see it was his captain who made the challenge. Donnarumma decides to go long. Tchouameni does well. Gonzalez, the slice clearance. Valverde from right back in the midfield area wins the ball back. Here's Carreras. And he's off balance. Again, crosses into the box without a centre forward is pretty much pointless now. What a pass that was from Donnarumma to Jeremy Doku now, looking to isolate Raul Asensio. Doku goes on the outside. Look at the pace here from Doku. Excellent recovery there from Asensio. Doku! Oh, what a save there by Courtois. And fortunately for the Belgium, he does not parry that into the path of Erling Haaland, who's just waiting for the tap in. Doku again creating separation brilliantly. Courtois at full stretch with an excellent save. Well, the Belgian battle there. Doku versus Courtois. Corner for Manchester City. Scored from their first corner in the match. Real sloppy fashion from Real Madrid's point of view. It'll be Phil Foden to take this one in. Oh, that's a terrible corner. To win the second ball though. Foden comes back on side. Gets it again on the right hand side. Here's Cherki. Gonzalez. Lovely turn there from Phil Foden. Switches it. Oh, it's another terrible pass there by Phil Foden. poor corner followed by a terrible attempt at the cross-field pass. Well, chances for both teams here in the second half. Bellingham having the best of it, but Manchester City have had a couple of attempts themselves. There's Asensio. Salas does well. Bellingham looking to turn. Ryan Cherki helping out defensively. Does brilliantly here. Erling Haaland, Gonzalez, Jeremy Doku now on the left-hand side. He's been the one causing all the problems for the Real Madrid back line. Xabi Alonso would have seen his side once again just lose their intensity after a good start to the half. This is where Manchester City's physicality will really come into play towards the end of the second half. Doku again is very strong. That's a foul, and I'm very surprised it's gone against Doku and not for him. Fede Valverde goes to ground, and I thought he hauled down Jeremy Doku there. Here's Jude Bellingham. Very good pass there to Alvaro Carreras. Further forward is the Uruguayan. Terrible pass there by Carreras. And Phil Foden has found Jeremy Doku here. Again, a lot of running room for Doku. Decides to slow the pace down. From a stop-start position, Jeremy Doku can really burst past the defender. Real Madrid keeping safe distance from Manchester City, but it's City who are just popping the ball around here at the Bernabeu. Cherki finds Nunes. Donnarumma happy to play these long balls. And you want to see someone like Arda Güler get on the ball a lot more. Can no Mbappe on the sidelines here. It's Brahim Diaz who's looking to come on. I think he might replace Dani Ceballos. Real Madrid, by the looks of it, will have to do it without their clinical player in Kylian Mbappe. What a challenge that was. Brilliantly done. There's Jeremy Doku now on the left-hand side. Gets away from a couple of challenges. It's Arda Güler. He's been shrugged off brilliantly there by Doku. Oh, surely a foul there by Jude Bellingham. Jeremy Doku has been a nightmare for the Real Madrid defenders and midfielders. Again, the way that he just gets away from Güler is too easy. And then Jude Bellingham right in front of the referee with a cynical foul on the Belgian. Jude Bellingham maybe not happy with his teammates there because of the space that Jeremy Doku found himself on the left-hand side. Free kick opportunity for Manchester City to pile on the pain. Jeremy Doku has been that man as Phil Foden looks to put the ball into the box here with his left foot. Ball. Okay, and Phil Foden's deliveries have been just shocking. He cannot be on set-piece duties anymore. Oh, good play there by Matheus Nunes because he had Vini Jr. breathing down his neck. Showed his composure to just hit that out for touch. It is Brahim Diaz for Dani Ceballos. Spanish midfielder not really making an impact in this match. Arda Güler replacing Gonzalo Garcia. Now Brahim Diaz coming on for Dani Ceballos. Expected the two players that were going to be coming off were the two players withdrawn. But I expected Kylian Mbappe to come on because if you're fit enough to be on the bench, might be fit enough to give 30 good minutes because Real Madrid find themselves in a very tricky spot here. Tchouameni, Asensio. Again, it's passive from Real Madrid, not able to find solutions. Courtois being put under pressure there by Haaland. Courtois just hacks that away. Can you know that your goalkeeper is left-footed? So if you do play that pass, Courtois cannot take a touch. He just has to go first time. And with no aerial presence in the forward line for Real Madrid, crosses into the box or long balls into the channels, pretty much useless here as Doku is 3v1, still gets away brilliantly. Jeremy Doku, he somehow nips in there. The foul's not given. Jeremy Doku not complaining much as Goller switches it beautifully to Rodrigo Goes on the left-hand side. Rodrigo finds Brahim Diaz. Vinicius Jr. now, this time on the right-hand side. Change in tactic here from Real Madrid, not just the personnel but the positions too. Here's Brahim. Arda Güler finding Antonio Rudiger. Again, there's a lack of movement in the forward areas. Manchester City, very, very compact here. Look at the distance between the lines here. Very little. Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni again. Haven't seen Tchouaméni further up the pitch. He's just been dropping between the centre halves and trying to orchestrate stuff to allow the wing backs to push up, as we see Alvaro Carreras and just leave one on Mateus Nunes. The triple substitution here for Manchester City. It's Tijani Reinders, Omar Marmoush and Savinho all coming on here. Fresh problems for Real Madrid to solve. Again, the counter-attacking threat will be a problem for Real Madrid now that Manchester City are introducing fresh legs. Erling Haaland, he's coming off. His job is done after slotting that penalty. Could have made it 3-1 right at the end of the half. But it's Haaland, Phil Foden coming off, and Ryan Cherki. Pep Guardiola feels that his forward needs a bit of a rest here with the games coming thick and fast. At the weekend, Manchester City looking to keep the pressure on the league leaders Arsenal as Reinders, Marmoush and Savinho coming on for the front three of Erling Haaland, Phil Foden and Ryan Cherki. Well, Tijani Reinders might get the license to play as that midfielder further forward with Nico Gonzalez still at the base. Reinders had a bit of physicality and drive and ball carrying in the City midfield. There's Arda Güler. Seems that Güler is being almost played in the pivot now, alongside Aurelien Tchouaméni. Asensio finds Brahim Diaz between the lines. Here's Valverde on the right hand side. The skipper thought about the cross, but again, no aerial presence. Switches on here. Beautiful pass there. Very good defending there by Mateus Nunes as Savinho gets away from the challenge. He's got fresh legs. I think the last touch might have come off the Brazilian. Oh, it hasn't? Yes, it does. Here's Jude Bellingham now. And you need to see a bit more of the intensity from the Real Madrid attackers. Manchester City is just starting to dominate the statistics now, not just the scoreline. Here's Carreras. Finds Rodrigo, loses his balance but turns away brilliantly there. Foul not given. He's been crowded out. Good defending in numbers there. Such a risky pass there by Mateus Nunes, which has been pinched by Aurelien Tchouaméni. Here's Carreras. He's gotten a cul-de-sac here. Vinicius Jr. trying to help out. Good defending there from Manchester City. Bernardo Silva Pokes that forward to Omar Marmoush. It seems that Omar Marmoush now is the deputy to Erling Haaland as the centre forward. Started his campaign for Manchester City last season very well. He arrived in the January transfer window, scored a hat-trick against Newcastle United if I remember correctly. Did look like he might have the tools to succeed for Manchester City, but since the summer arrivals of Ryan Cherki, the re-emergence of Phil Foden and Jeremy Doku's form, Omar Marmoush has found it very difficult to break into the forward line. And Rudiger's, some of his decision making has been very curious to say the least. Should have been a comfortable header or just bring that down on the chest, but puts his wing back under so much pressure with that pass. And Arda Güler is a number 10. Look at this position here. Not sure whether or not Xabi Alonso wants to take all the risks yet. Lovely movement here by Real Madrid. Jeremy Doku helps out defensively with a lovely shoulder-to-shoulder challenge. Brilliant by Doku, but seems that Doku was trying to con the referee by the looks of it. I think there was certainly a touch on Doku, that's for sure, but it's Real Madrid on the attack now. Rodrigo on the left-hand side. Vinicius central. Excellent. Excellent by Tijani Reinders. And that's why he was brought on. Just a bit of midfield security. What a pass that is to Jude Bellingham. Chop on his left foot. Bellingham looking to curl that one in. Blocked away. Fede Valverde. It's another very good block there by Manchester City. Managed to hack that clear here. And now Doku, if he gets this first, could be real troubles, but it's a foul on Raul Asensio. Into the 75th minute, Real Madrid still not able to get the goal to level things up. And Endrick and Fran Garcia both warming up as Kylian Mbappe has got his feet up here. Don't think he'll be coming on at any point. Time was maybe 10 minutes ago, but he's still out there on the bench, chilling. Clever pass, asking a lot from the captain there, Valverde. Well, he wants the pen, he's not going to get it. Is he going to get this pen? He is. The foul has been given and it's a penalty. Well, Fede Valverde made that lung-busting run forward. Nico O'Reilly. Oh, it's not a pen. Right outside the edge of the box. That's a good position for Nico O'Reilly to give the foul. Will pick up a yellow card. It's been all action from the left back. Scored the equalizer. Has been defensively solid, involved in the build-up. Jude Bellingham and Arda Güler were in serious discussion there. Bellingham has stepped away, which means it will be the in-swinger of the left foot of the Turkish international. Güler with a deep breath. Is he going to be the man to bail out Real Madrid in this tricky situation that they find themselves in? A nightmare week for Xabi Alonso so far. Will it be compounded as Arda Güler goes for goal? Oh, it's a strange decision, really. It's headed away by Mateus Nunes. You can't be selfish in those situations. Beautiful switch out, though, by Güler to Rodrigo. Cross comes in. Guardiola heads. Again, without a focal point, just putting in crosses into the box might be a futile exercise for Raja Blancos here. Again, Rodrigo with a nice disguise. Cross comes in and it's Tchouameni's header is wide. It was a free header. It was Vinicius Jr. rather. Thought that was Tchouameni looking at that leap there. Fantastic jump by Vinicius Jr. But he got his timing all wrong in terms of trying to direct that over target. Yep, just skims off the forehead. Out for a goal kick. Madrid take this free kick quickly, but it's been pulled back. Well, it's, by the looks of it, Endrick is coming on for Real Madrid. Kylian Mbappe getting the midweek off here, and next time he takes the pitch, might be for a different coach here. I refuse to believe, I really do refuse to believe that Xabi Alonso will be sacked. He's second in La Liga, 4 points behind Barcelona, very much clawable and possible to get the crown come May. And in the Champions League, as it stands, it's their second defeat. On to Liverpool, and now at home to Manchester City could be damaging. Excellent there from Nico O'Reilly. Brilliant. The two left backs in this match has been excellent. O'Reilly and Alvaro Carreras. So solid. And they've got such dynamism going forward too. Ruben Diaz feeds it to Savinho. Again, Carreras is there. Brilliant challenge from the Uruguayan. Here's Jude Bellingham now. Feeds it onto the right-hand side to his skipper. Clever pass. It's Josko Guardiola on the slide. Does brilliantly. Out for a corner. Into the 80th minute. Really is now or never for Real Madrid. Fede Valverde down that right-hand side trying to provide the width. With Vinicius now playing a lot more centrally alongside Jude Bellingham. Corner opportunity. Substitute Gullit to take it. Oh, it's a flap there by Donnarumma and Vinicius Jr. It's a difficult effort. But if he gets that on target, it's 2-2. Well, we've seen this in the Premier League where Gianluigi Donnarumma, for his height, is very much suspect with high balls in the box. He completely misses that one. And Vinicius Jr. trying to adjust his body. There's a lot of pace on the ball. It's a difficult technique to try and get that on target, but you want those kind of shots to go into the back of the net. Donnarumma gets away with murder there. Again, you're 6'5", but aerially, it's his weak point. Don't see him with the high claims. We don't see him coming out and dominating his box. As a shot stopper, he is excellent, but that's not enough in the modern game. Oh, Andre Savinho, what are you doing there, Rudiger? It's right at the edge of the box. He's already conceded a needless pen. Savinho's convinced. Rudiger again, that you cannot be smiling that way. There are two fouls there. First one was, it's a clear foul by Rudiger. It's just on the line. Rudiger's head's gone here. How can you say that's not a foul, Tony? He's so rash, so reckless. Cannot be doing that. Free kick for Manchester City. This would be the dagger if City are to get the third. Real Madrid have done nowhere near enough to get a goal back. Jude Bellingham had a chance just before. Just towards the start of the second half. Then we saw Vinicius Jr. having that difficult attempt after Gianluigi Donnarumma came and completely missed out on the corner there. Bernardo Silva with a very curious attempt. Out for a goal kick. Eight minutes plus stoppage time remain for Xabi Alonso to try and at least pull a goal back here. Kylian Mbappe will not be taking part in this contest. Again, that pass by Rudiger is so dangerous to Carreras, who somehow feeds it back, but City have the ball again. Clever pass. Tijani Reinders. Back heel is brilliant. Does not find Marmoush. That would have been champagne football there by Manchester City. Nearly getting it spot on. That Bellingham chance aside, City defensively have locked things down for Real Madrid. But again, where is that dynamism? Where is that extra bit of play? It's an all Brazilian forward line now with Rodrigo, Endrick and Vinicius Jr. 7 minutes plus stoppage time here. Xabi Alonso holding on to his job by a thread. Here's Thibaut Courtois. Had to make a couple of massive saves in this match. Jude Bellingham turns away from trouble. Lovely bit of play there from the Englishman. Here's Bellingham driving his team forward. Rides the challenge again. Feeds it to Fede Valverde. Bellingham, miscontrol. Endrick just tried to hit that first time. Well blocked. Here's Savinho. Plenty of Brazilians on the pitch here. Savinho with a brilliant bit of skill here. Oh, the chance for the pass was there. It's a poor one. Tried to go the outside of his boot to Omar Marmoush, but doesn't get the timing or the accuracy on it. Real Madrid looking to lay siege here. Carreras keeps his balance somehow. Carreras, cross comes in. Header! Oh, what a save! It's just over the crossbar by the looks of it. Endrick's header. Powerful there from the young Brazilian. Carreras has no business digging out the cross, and it's hit the crossbar. Excellent header there by Endrick. That would have been the perfect introduction. But again, it's Alvaro Carreras who has been Real Madrid's best player. And by far as well. Defensively has been very good. Going forward, he has added dynamism and creativity. Josko Guardiola with that good first touch. Marmoush has been bullied out of the way there by Rudiger, but City do have the ball again. Here's Savinho now. Up against Carreras. He's got a new problem to solve here. Savinho goes around the outside. Oh, flashes that across the face of goal. And it needed just a tap in. Anyone attacking that, and it's 3-1. Bellingham on the stretch. Vinicius does well to just about keep that in play. Desperate times for Real Madrid now. Vinicius trying to do everything by himself. And oh my word, what is that pass there? You just have to slide the pass onto the right-hand side instead. Has he gone for the flick pass? Crazy decision as Vinicius Jr. tries to take a shot on his left foot. Bellingham with the effort. He loses his balance, and Donnarumma having to take evasive measures. Well, Rodrigo is going to pick up a yellow card for his reaction there. He might have felt that was shoulder to shoulder. As soon as the referee blows the whistle, you know that foul will be given. Yep, it's a clear foul there on Mateus Nunes. Rodrigo's reaction giving him a yellow card. But Rodrigo's goal, a distant memory for Real Madrid. This is a brilliant header by Endrick. I mean, doesn't look anything taller than 5'9". Still that excellent leap. Powerful header too. Well, Real Madrid have had chances. A bit of defensive security coming on here for Pep Guardiola and Manchester City as Doku's evening comes to an end. He's been Manchester City's most potent attacker. He comes off with the Dutch defender Nathan Ake coming on for the final 3 minutes plus stoppage time to secure the 3 points for Manchester City. Paris Saint-Germain 0-0 there at San Sebastian. Carreras picking up the yellow card. It's his first real mistake that he has made in this match so far. Savinho with fresh legs, causing problems down the right-hand side. Time really running out for Real Madrid here. Really is now or never. Free kick for City as they just look to run down the clock here. Savinho. Tijani Reinders. Chops on his left foot. It's Reinders. Thought about the shot. Oh, there was a chance there. It fell very kindly there for Nico O'Reilly. Took it on his right foot. It's a hefty deflection. Out for a corner. Manchester City have the ball exactly where they want it. Nico O'Reilly. There he has a goal. Looking for a brace at the Bernabeu. Not many have done that in the Champions League as an away side. Again, City taking their corner shot. Savinho. Nunez. Tijani Reinders. Reinders losing out. Clever back heel there by Jude Bellingham. Oh, that's a cynical foul there by the captain. Bernardo Silva hacks Brahim Diaz and he picks up a yellow card. Final minute of normal time for Real Madrid to salvage at least a point. As it stands, they find themselves in 7th after match week 6. City trying to keep Madrid at arm's length here. Bayern Munich, well, Arsenal, Bayern Munich, PSG and Manchester City as the top 4 teams after match week 6 as it stands in the Champions League group stages here. And City with fresh legs with Marmoush does brilliantly, but trying to do too much by himself there. Again, Arda Güler has come on as an attacking sub, right? He's been deep in his own half at the halfway line, nowhere near the number 10 position. Almost like a wasted sub, isn't it? And see what he's trying to do, a bit of creativity from deep, but you want your number 10 to be in the number 10 position. With 4 minutes of stoppage time, Real Madrid might have the most damaging of weeks here. Losing at the weekend to Celta Vigo, now losing to Manchester City, both home defeats. With Florentino Perez watching along. Could be good night, Xabi Alonso. And as I mentioned before, it's a cruel decision, but Real Madrid are a ruthless institution. If you do not cut the mustard, even though the underlying metrics might work in your favor, they want results. Here's Bellingham. Switches it with his left foot. Beautiful pass there to Vinicius Jr. Cross comes into the box. Headed away by Josko Guardiola brilliantly. Fede Valverde. It's headed away by Guardiola again. The Croatian wall in full effect here. Magnificent from Josko Guardiola, who's had a fantastic game. And Savinho breaks the challenge here. Manchester City looking for the third, the killer blow here. Savinho on his left foot. Savinho with the strike. Blocked by Tchouaméni. Keeps Real Madrid alive. Here's Arda Güler. Again, deep in his own half here. This is not the right territory for Arda Güler to be in. Needs to bust his gut and get forward here. Time really running out for Real Madrid. Another big switch coming up. Finds Vinicius Jr. On the left-hand side, Vinicius Jr. looking to curl that in, but it takes an unfortunate nick off his own player in Brahim Diaz. And that's out for a goal kick, pretty much summing up Vinicius Jr.'s 90 minutes here. And one thing Real Madrid have done very well is in terms of switching the pass with accuracy, but it hasn't led to anything meaningful here as Kylian Mbappe trying to direct some of the traffic from the bench. Xabi Alonso decided to take no chances despite his job being potentially on the line. Just shows you that he is trying to protect Kylian Mbappe more than anything else, more than his job almost. And Mbappe might not be fit to feature, but why put him on the bench? In long ball tactic, Nathan Ake, that's a shocking header. Rodrigo, chance, the ball into the boxes. Evades every white shirt, cleared away. Well, final minute of stoppage time here. Can Real Madrid fashion one good chance? Bellingham has been a lot better in the second half. Cross comes into the box. Nathan Ake's header. And that's exactly why he was brought on here. Vinicius Jr., edge of the box. Oh, it's a poor ball there by Vinicius Jr. Easily gobbled up by Gianluigi Donnarumma. As he looks to run down the clock, Xabi Alonso with folded hands. Feels that his resistance has been broken here. They started the game off very well, but two inexplicable goals conceded by their two experienced players. One courtesy of Thibaut Courtois' poor handling, and then Antonio Rudiger conceding a needless penalty, which Erling Haaland slotted. And the bounces working in their favour here. It will be a throw-in for Manchester City, who have done the job here. Pep Guardiola will know his team can play a lot better, but winning at the Bernabeu, picking up 3 important points, could be so important as the referee blows the full-time whistle at the Santiago Bernabeu. And it's Manchester City who have overturned the deficit and hold on in the second half. Rodrigo scoring in the first half. In the second half, well, the resistance was not there from Real Madrid. It was really lacking in terms of real attacking force. You can see the Real Madrid players all dropping down to their haunches. But Nico O'Reilly and Erling Haaland turning it around in the first half, and in the second half, no change in the score line. Bellingham played a whole lot better. Vinicius Jr. had a chance from a corner. Endrick struck the post, or the crossbar rather, with his header. But not enough as Manchester City get the job done in Spain. Pick up 3 valuable points in the Champions League as their travelling supporters can enjoy their travels back to Manchester. And it is doom and gloom for Real Madrid. Is this the final game of the Xabi Alonso reign for Real Madrid? We'll wait and see. News does break quickly in that part of the world. But it's full time here at the Santiago Bernabeu. It's Real Madrid 1,